Ooh, y'all, I look, first of all, I promise I'm not high. I promise. But now, for those who know, I only work overnight, so I'm sleeping, man. Your girl is tired. I haven't had no sleep. So I just dropped my boys off with their father. And I've been getting a lot of message saying or asking, how I managed to lose weight. For those who've been watching my journey, I've lost 65 pounds. And a lot of people been asking me how. So I was like, you know what? Excuse the hair too, man. I need to retwist. So don't do too much in them comments. Y'all messy. But I'm gonna try to put this thing together. Just to see how I go. So if you really in tune, I'm gonna just show you the real, the raw, the uncut, the truth. Like, it gets messy, very vulnerable, very open. It's all part of the process. So like I said, if you really into it, stay tuned. I just try to break this down and simplify it as much as possible. So yeah, here we go. So I see you stuck around. I'm at the lake by the water. If you know me, I'm always gonna be by some water. It's just where I thrive at. It's my element. So before I get started, just thank you for those who decided to stick around and hear my journey. Let me just go on and say my journey is very spiritual. So if you're not a spiritual person, maybe this content is not for you, love, and that's okay. I appreciate you for stopping by. But for those who, are spiritual and don't mind hearing my spiritual side of my journey, then let's get into it. So I became an emotional eater 2015, January 2015, on the 27th. I had lost my mom that day. I was already previously grieving over my grandma. And for those who know me, my grandma is my heart. That was my girl. And then my mama, is, oh man. My mama, that was my heart. That was my heart. My mother's death was so sudden. It was almost like she was murdered. Like, she was just up and thriving, talking to me and my sister one day, and then the next day, her health just declined, and she was gone. It was honestly like she was good on Tuesday. Wednesday, she just declined and died. That's honestly how it felt. It felt like she was killed, like she was murdered. It felt like a sudden death. That's what it felt like. So that was hard on both me and my sister. So after we had the experience of just trying to, deal with our mother's loss, deal with my mom's loss, after losing her, 27 days later, I had to birth my son. And I wouldn't wish that on nobody. That was my introduction to motherhood. Just grief, pretty much. I wouldn't wish that on nobody. I wouldn't wish that on a person I hated. So it's like a real devastating thing to experience and to go through. So I fell into a depression, a massive depression at that. It was just, dude, I'm talking about I was in a dark place. That's when suicidal took place. Then after that, I was homeless. I didn't even have nowhere to stay. I was honestly about to sleep in my car. But I thank God that I had in-laws who loved me enough for me and my baby to come stay with them. And yeah, and they loved us, supported us, and took care of us. They will forever have me in their corner. So all right, people. So now that you understand the emotional part of my journey, which the 3 things that I just talked about, which is grief, depression, and trauma. Those were my triggers as to why I gained 246 pounds, right? All right, so now we're gonna transition this video into why we're here now, which is the spiritual side of it. So I gained a gluttonous spirit. There's no other way to put it. And no need to sugarcoat it, try to make it pretty. It is what it is. I had developed a huge gluttonous spirit. And gluttony is just not for food. I'm going to explain it to you. I'll show you this picture right here so you can have an understanding that gluttony is just about food. It can be a number of things. But yeah, I ended up developing a gluttonous spirit. I would just eat, sleep, work, eat, sleep, work. And anytime a person is just eating and sleeping all the time, anyway, that's a major sign of depression. But I was just eating and sleeping, or just consuming food out of comfort, consuming food out of boredom, consuming food just because it's there. You'd be amazed that a lot of people is just overeating and don't even realize it. Just eating and not even be hungry. You just eating because you see some chicken over there. You just see that you don't even want that cake. You know what I'm saying? But just because it's sitting over on that table looking good, man, let me go get a little corner of that, you know. We do it all the time and don't realize how effective this can be, right? So I really had to break down my habits and learn from them and start removing some things. That's really all I did. For an example, you looking at a person didn't even know what water was. Who finna drink some water? Baby, who didn't do water? I didn't do water. I would literally drink 6 or more drinks a day. Literally over a half a case of drinks I would drink a day, honestly. Coke, Dr. Pepper, Sprite. Man, ain't nothing like a good Dr. Pepper. A Pepsi, all that. I'm drinking all that. Sweet tea, all that. Which is crazy is because I only drink 3 things now. You can ask my sister. I only drink 3 things now, which is water, unsweet tea, and coffee. And I'm very particular about what I put in my coffee. My intake is very, like, I'm on it. But them the only 3 things that I drink. And herbal teas every now and then, especially. Excuse me, especially if I got like a little flare up or a cold or something. I drink like a hot honey tea or ginger or elderberry. I find some kind of herb and make me a tea out of it. This water, by the way, so don't do too much in them comments. I know how y'all live. But yeah, man, I had developed a severe gluttonous spirit. I would eat heavy in the morning. Heavy. When I say heavy, I'm talking like a 4-piece, wings, fries, Coke. And this would be every morning. Every morning. That was the first habit I broke. Instead of eating heavy in the morning, hold on, I'm missing something. I forgot about this. Let me include this. So before I understood my habits, I had a breaking point. I'm not really sure the details about the breaking point because it's a little blurry. But I remember going to God and asking him, like, Lord, I really want to break this spirit. Like, I'm lost. I can't get out of it. Like, I couldn't get out of it. So I went to God in prayer. Because from 2015 to 2019, if you look on any of my social medias, I never took a body pic, like a full body pic. I never. took one. If anything, my picture's gonna be like from here on up. That's it. That's in every picture. If you go look on my social media sites, I never took full body pics. So, but anyway, I had went to God and I asked God, like, how do I break this? And you know, I never thought none of it. I just continued my day, continued, you know, going on by my life. And then eventually I got sick. So this was the beginning of like, yeah, I got to change. So I ended up getting sick. I went to Popeyes. I went all out, babe. I'm talking about I'm feeling good. Woke up that day. I woke up from a nap and I said, man, I want me some Popeyes. I went to Popeyes, got me a little 4-piece Cajun rice, a Coke, went all out, had my hot sauce, went home. Not even sitting at a table eating, but laying down, like literally laying down on the couch eating Popeyes, and I fell asleep. I woke up with a severe migraine. This is set like right at the center, like just right here at the center of my head. And I felt so bad, like so bad. I couldn't move. I couldn't just get up and walk. I felt like I felt fatigued and nauseated. Like I had, and then what's crazy is I'd be like, oh, I'm full. And I think if you really think about it, have you ever done this? You like, oh, I'm full. But you keep eating, that's gluttony. That's gluttony. And so I'm eating, and I already ate 3 pieces of chicken. I'm on my 4th pieces of chicken. I'm just like, oh man, I'm full. And I ate it and lay down and went to sleep. And I felt so sick. And I remember like, Lord, if you can just heal me out of this, I'm done. I'm done. And that's when he put fasting on my heart. He did. He put fasting on my heart. Fasting changed my life in a way that it's hard for me to put in words. It's hard, but I'm gonna try, because it's such a, my relationship with fasting, I take it very serious. It's humbling. It's uncomfortable. It's not for the weak. It's surrendering. It's all of that. So hear me when I say this is like a real thing for me. So remind you now, I'm up 8 in the morning eating heavy meals. So that's when the start of fasting began. So I was like, I knew that was a bad habit of eating that heavy in the morning and then just laying it down and going to sleep. So I removed all of that. So from 6 a.m. when I first started my journey, from 6 a.m. to 12 that evening, p.m., nothing. I removed everything. If I were to intake anything, it would be water. Like from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m., nothing. Just that little bit of time was so effective. People don't realize, people think, oh, we need 3 meals a day, we need 4 meals. You don't. Your body don't even need all that. It don't even need all that. Especially all that meat and stuff like that. That's not good for the body. But like I said, at the time, wasn't educated on this kind of stuff. So then it went from 6 a.m. Then I noticed that my fasting got a little stronger. Like I could go a little more without eating. So then it went from 12 p.m. to maybe like 2:30. So from 6 a.m. to 2:30, I wouldn't eat nothing. Then it just grew and it grew and it grew. And before you know it, I would be fasting 16, 17 hours a day. From 6 a.m. and then I'll probably eat to about 6:30 that evening. And it helped me because I work at night. I'm a server at Waffle House. So I'm constantly on my feet and moving. So I will have a meal before I go to work. And then while I'm at work, I'm moving. I'm not laying down. I'm working. So that how my fasting, that's how I included fasting in my schedule. But that's what works for me now. You have to figure out what works for you. So I know it's kind of like, but it's honestly truth. We don't realize how much we be eating and not moving our body. We just eating, and just sitting there. That's all you're doing. Sitting there and scrolling. Just eating, glutton, sitting there and scrolling. And as people, we do that a lot and don't even realize how effective that can be. So I would try to work out. Still wasn't going nowhere, because even though I was running and working out and creating all these schedules and failing them all at the same time, I still was indulging in bad eating habits. So I officially started my journey May of last year, May the 28th of last year, because I had got invited to be in a wedding. That was kind of like, oh, you know, this a little motivation. This is something I can look forward to. Woo. So yeah, I was excited about that. And so I started that May. So from May to October, which is 5 months, May, June, July, August, September, October, 5 months. So from 5 months, I took out all processed sugars. Cookies, cake, ice cream, chocolate bars, donuts. I took all that out. All of it out. For a long time, I didn't drink coffee. If I did, I would just put like a little bit of cream in there, and I didn't do no sugar. And if I did do some sugar, it'd be like Splenda, and I think that's 0 calories if I'm not mistaken. But for 5 months, I took out all processed sugars. I didn't eat nothing sweet, nothing. And I fasted all morning, all evening to about 6 o'clock. That's when I eat my meal. And that's how I live my life now. I don't eat nothing in the mornings. I don't eat nothing in the evenings. And when I do eat, I'm pretty much a 1 meal a person, like 1 meal a day person. I'm pretty much it. Now, if it do, because sometimes at work it do get busy, I'm moving too much and I might need something, then I may make a little sandwich, or I take a salad to work, or I eat fruit or something like that. But that's it. I'm kind of like a 1 meal a day person. I have so much energy now. I feel just clear. I feel light. My mind is clear. It's not heavy. It's not foggy. Even with my skin, with the water intake, I noticed that it has gotten very clear. It looks better. Before then, I was having like a lot of like eczema, but you couldn't really tell because I'm so dark. I'm dark skinned, so you really couldn't tell the eczema on my skin, but a lot of them cleared. And I just thank God, man, for my journey, because I had a moment. I had a moment where I couldn't do it. I felt like I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. So now I'm gonna eliminate starches. I'm just overwhelmed because I feel like I'm at my breaking point. Like I can't do it. So excuse the tears, you know, because this is hard for me. But I'm gonna eliminate that, and also I'm gonna fast No eating after I've actually met my goal. I know I said I lost 65 pounds, but I actually lost 66 pounds. My goal was to reach 180. That was my ultimate goal, y'all. And I checked yesterday and I weigh 180 pounds. But I do notice that now that my journey is over with and I done met my goal and stuff like that, my next journey is going to how to tone up. I gotta tone up because I do got to start working out. I'm taking this hat off. So I do got to start working out because I realize that I got a lot of loose skin. So I gotta figure out workouts to try to tone my stomach up. That's gonna be the next chapter of this journey. But yeah, that's really all it is to it. You know, just fasting might not be your thing. Like I said, fasting is not for everybody, but it worked for me, y'all. It had worked for me, and I never go back. Ever go back. Start fasting from those toxic foods, you know what I'm saying? Like those heavy processed sugars, those heavy processed starches, all those sodas, and that stuff is just not good for the body. I had went on a Daniel fast, and I got a few people to join me on it. Shout out to my little support group. They know who they are. It's quite a few of them, so I'm not gonna be able to name everybody. But man, the goal was to do a 10-day Daniel fast. I actually posted this on my social media, and a lot of people was actively involved. I was surprised. But we did a 10-day Daniel fast, and I lasted for 6, y'all. I did 6 days with only veggies, fruits, and water. Man, what? Stop playing with me. Who you know? Who you know can go 6 days? No meat, no nothing? Man, I went 6 days. Not only me, but a lot of people in my support group, they went 6. Some, I think, did 10. I gotta check and see did they finish it. But a lot of people, a lot of us, we lasted up to 6 days or more, just fruits, veggies, and water. And you know how hard that is? The Daniel fast is hard, bro. It is not for the weak. When I first started the Daniel fast, I did half a day. So to go from half a day to 6 days, oh man, come on now. Come on, that's a win. I'll take that. That's a win. That's a win. Even though I didn't do the 10, I'll take that. But yeah, man, I would encourage anybody to start fasting. Start fasting. Like, if you can just, if you could just do 3 days. 3 days. Only fruits, veggies, and water. Watch how effective it be. Just my connection with God in general. My relationship got so closer to God because of my relationship with fasting. Because you have to count on it. You doing something that you don't have no power to do by yourself. Man, me to lose 66 pounds, who? People know, people know, especially when I used to work at Mill Creek, we used to create diets all the time. Whoop wasn't doing none of that. None of that. I would fail so many times. I have failed dieting 100 times or more. I done wrote so many diet plans out. I done wrote so many, I done tried different keto diets, all kind of diets. I done tried so many things and failed. Fasting was the only thing that I just really resonated with. And the reason why is because I wanted that spirit to break. I wanted that gluttony spirit to get off of me. Because I knew I was suffering from it. A lot of people are like, man, I don't know if I could. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. It's hard. But I had to rely on God. I had no other choice but to rely on God, because for me to lose 66 pounds is impossible. It was just impossible. You can ask my best friend. I talk to her every day, Jasmine. It's impossible. I honestly thought it was impossible, but I did it. And if I could do it, anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. You just have to find your why. And I had found my why, which is grief, depression, and trauma. And I was a mess. A mess. A mess. I was a mess. And I neglected myself so much that it made me, not only was I neglecting myself, it made me push people away. I pushed a lot of people away. People I grew up with, people I was close with. I silently went through a divorce that nobody knew about. So I was suffering all those 3 losses, you know. And that divorce was, you know, was divorcing my high school sweetheart, the father of my boys. Man, that was a hard thing for me to deal with. Because at the, you know, he was all I knew. But going through all of that depression and trauma and grief, I didn't know how to love him. I wasn't loving myself. And so it resulted in me pushing him away, and, you know, but hey, that's a story for another day. But yeah, not only him, just pushing people away. I was just so lost, y'all. I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know how to figure it out. But through the grace of God, man, I begged God to help me to break this spirit. Like, I went through this massive phase of prayer. Like, you honestly have to sit within the 4 walls of your establishment, or wherever you at. Sit within the 4 walls of your heart. Man, you got to go to what's unfamiliar. You got to go to what's uncomfortable. You got to go to the good, bottom, raw truth to figure out why you is the mess that you is. Accept it. See it for what it is. Face it head on and tackle it. Go after it. That's the only way. And that's all I did. Only thing is, I just started fasting with it. Now, once I figured it out, I said, okay, I know sugars, processed sugars, is my biggest weight problem right now. So I limited, fast from it. Nothing. For 5 months, nothing, no sugar. And I was losing 10 pounds a month. And it's kind of like, that's actually great. And it's kind of like the range you want to be in. But I was losing 10 pounds a month. Not only was I fasting from sugars or whatnot, I had to really fall in love with water. Like, I had to make myself fall in water. Because like I said, you looking at a person that know what water was. I had to fall in love with water. I had to make myself fall in love with water. And now I love it. And I honestly, what was I thinking? Like, I love water now. But yeah, man, that's just really my intake on it, and how I was introduced to fasting, because I got sick, and I went to God after that. I just surrendered. I went to God and asked him to help me, and he did. So if you really serious about your journey and you really want to fast, God will show you. Like, he will make it plain for you. And he showed me my causes, my triggers. He showed me why I am the way I am. He showed me a solution, which was fasting, and how to include the solution in my everyday life. And you just have to figure out, once you figure out your solution, you have to work it around your schedule, you know, because everybody's schedule is different. Everybody don't work at night. A lot of people work in the morning. A lot of people work in the evenings. So you just have to sit down, plan, and plot what's best for you. And I think that's really it. I hope I ain't left nothing out, but yeah, man. So that's really it. Like I said, I hope I ain't leave nothing out. But if you enjoy the content, and if you're really feeling what I'm saying, then stick around with your girl. And more is coming. 180, y'all. 180. Stop playing with me, bro.